All right, everybody, welcome to the first episode of the Lane Financial Group podcast. This podcast is going to be a good mixture of some real value, things that we can do within our industry, uh, conversations, about every guest. We're going to go into their personal life, whether they're in this industry or not, if they have any experience with this industry, and all kinds of different stuff. We'll probably do some episodes with guests, without guests, with clients. Like I said, we're just going to kind of bounce around and see what everybody wants to hear. So I couldn't start it off with a better first guest. This is my business partner. He's my mentor. He is the one who's taken me under his wing while I've started in this new crazy industry that we've gotten ourselves into. So, Mr. Derek Jones, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad, honored to be here on the first episode, and excited, man. Excited to get started and to to help some folks for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thank you for being here and being my very first guest, helping me out once again.
Definitely.
So I just want to start with you. Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about your life story. You can start wherever you want. If you want to go all the way back to childhood,
Yeah.
wherever you're
Oh yeah.
comfortable with.
Yeah, definitely. To start, born and raised down here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and just come from a small town. Definitely was raised in a generation, and I'm thankful now that I was able to play in the woods and to get dirty and those kind of things, and not so much inside but outside
Yep.
growing up. But no, loving family. All the way through, high school. And, once I got out of high school, I kind of had a firm belief as far as what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Joined the military, did that a number of years, started college, was definitely not the best student in grade school and high school and everything like that. So, and I think it was more just my mindset of just thinking I wasn't honestly, that gifted, just had some
Mhm.
siblings that were a little more on the academic side, just being able to excel and just not in my view, not have that much effort when it came to just their achievements and things like that. But I still had that military dream, aviation and just going
Mhm.
out and just really making a great career. Unfortunately, some medical things came up to where I wasn't able to achieve that. But just raised here in Texas and just the values that my family brought into my life, just still just that sense of work, that work ethic was super important to me. But married, kids, still here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and uh, I see myself here, the rest of my life, as far
Mhm.
as just some of the dreams and goals that I have now, that are far different than were 20 years ago. Uh, and yeah, just super excited to to be here and like I said, to just talk with you, Jacob.
Yeah, absolutely. No, let's expand on that a little bit actually.
Yep.
Obviously I know that you work at Southwest, been there about 11 years, correct?
Hmm. Yep.
Um, did that dream that you had mentioned of, aviation and stuff in the military, is that
Hmm.
kind of how you ended up at Southwest? And how
Yeah.
long between Navy and going to Southwest, or was it immediate?
No, no, yeah, no, really good question. I
Excuse me.
always loved aviation growing up. And there's actually a picture right over here of my first
Hmm.
flight that I took in a little single engine Piper Cub, door open, just putting my
Yep.
hand out and just seeing cars pass on the road, and you're like going super slow, but I thought it was a blast. And that's that's
How old were
that's
you
what
when you
got me
did
in love
that?
with aviation. Southwest, just being in the Dallas area, and just being in the military, a lot of the pilots that were in the squadron that I was in, being a 737, basically what Southwest flies,
Yeah.
the natural transition to go to our airline was there. A lot of pilots in the
Hmm.
squadron, being a reserve unit, were also Southwest pilots. So
Okay.
just kind of having that background, just knowing the company, just the history, and just kind of real down to earth, real kind of family oriented. That's kind of what got me, looking at Southwest Airlines as a career,
Yeah.
at that point in time, for sure.
Yeah.
There was a break in between. I was a police officer for a number of years,
Oh, okay.
here
I
in the
didn't know
Dallas
that.
Fort Worth area. Yeah, for about 4 years, and medical. Once again, had to retire from that, but enjoyed that. Definitely, service oriented. I would
Yeah.
say, just military and law enforcement. But yeah, I've
So you
been at
you seem to
Southwest about
spend a lot of
11.
your life just trying to help other people in different various ways,
Yeah, yeah,
even
just
including to now too. You
yeah,
know.
definitely, definitely. Oh, more so now. Yeah, definitely. I feel you get to a point, you get into a position and you kind of feel like you have a calling in that. And I felt, in a number of, whether it be the military, whether it be law enforcement, I definitely felt a calling into those. Obviously, situations came up where I didn't have the ability to continue, but I'm just so thankful that, number one, medical wise, it wasn't as serious as it could have been, and
Hmm.
also to just many other opportunities that I know we'll talk about here that have
Yeah.
come into my life, and just my mindset shift in a number of ways where I saw the 9 to 5, I saw the Southwest, great company, but I felt like I was called for more, for sure.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. So let's actually transition a little bit here into kind of what we're doing now, how this came to be.
Hmm.
You're at Southwest. You'd been there for, if my math is correct, about 9 years before you joined on here,
Hmm.
8 or 9, somewhere around there. How'd you find it? And two-pronged question, like what, when you did find it, what was that like? Man, I gotta at least take a try at this. Like I gotta take a stab and try and see if it works. Like how did those kind of come together?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would say the last 4 years at Southwest, clocking in, clocking out, the
Hmm.
vacation, everything's real good as far as 401k, retirement planning,
Hmm.
profit sharing, all these things. And I don't know, just during that time, I just didn't have that fulfillment like I was, that I was wanting. I felt like, I definitely was called for more, just experimenting, just trying new things.
Hmm.
Just my mentality as far as, like physical fitness has been a big part of my life, and just running, trail running, and doing those things as far as like endurance type events. I felt like I wasn't being tested. I wasn't being tested in my W-2. I
Hmm.
wasn't fulfilled. I felt like I was called for more. And the opportunity came where I was part of a group on Facebook, and we had like weekly Zoom calls, like
Hmm.
just like on the computer here, where we talked about a number of self development. We talked about business entrepreneurship, which for me
Hmm.
personally, no background, no up until that time, no thinking of starting my own business or getting into any kind of financial services. I would say more on the lack of finances on my end growing up, just constantly just being struggling with money, not knowing, checkbook and balancing your checkbook and all these things that just growing up just had a negative connotation, like this is it, this any kind of wealth or opportunities or being
Hmm.
optimistic about the future were not in my cards, I thought. So but I sent out a Facebook post, long story short, that I was looking for an opportunity. I was looking for an opportunity that could not, I wouldn't have to quit my job. I wouldn't have to
Hmm.
upend my life and my commitments, being married to beautiful girls, that I still needed to have a roof over the head and
Yeah.
meals on the table and those kind of things. So One of our agency partners at Real Financial saw my post and reached out to me. His name's Evan Schlang, and he basically we talked on the phone for I remember the day being in my driveway talking to him and just telling him what I
Hmm.
was looking for, what opportunity I was looking for, what my past, circumstances were, and just Evan and just how he articulated the opportunity and how he talked about, this works where you're at. Obviously, number one, if you're looking for more opportunity, income, more freedom when it comes to, your time and just like I said, being from that W-2 and like so many of us growing up in that clocking in, clocking out, that was what I thought was opportunity. That's what I
Hmm.
thought was okay, yeah, 401k, sick time, vacation time, you didn't get approved for your vacation time. Well, Evan explained, well, there's more. There's more than that. And the opportunity at Real Financial brought me in to where I could start part-time with no experience. Me having that mindset of lack of not being good enough when it
Hmm.
came to finances, much less being an entrepreneur, starting my own business. Um, I I said yes in the driveway, and I'm so glad I did when I was just looking for something. I wasn't looking at financial services. I was just looking for any kind of opportunity to make more money.
Hmm.
I'd probably, start door dashing or something like that,
Hmm.
if that were the opportunity that came up. But I'm so glad I posted that. I'm so glad that Evan saw it and that he reached out to me. And yeah, it's been great ever since. And um, yeah, it was definitely you definitely come to a point where you kind of question, and I don't know if it's like in your 40s, they say
Hmm.
midlife crisis or what have you, but you're like, is this it? Is this all that it's meant for me? And
Yeah.
I felt like it was not. I felt like it just not so much on the professional side, but just how I thought of things and how the things that I enjoyed were like endurance, were like
Hmm.
challenges that tested me, and I felt like that's where I got the most fulfillment. Honestly, Jacob is just kind of reaching, extending, kind of seeing what my potential is for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's something that I've said this numerous times talking with you because, we spend a lot of time talking with each other,
Hmm.
working, um, kind of similar with me, you know, like I found this on social media also. I was sitting here with my son scrolling Instagram and Bradley's Instagram pops up with a, hey, if you want an opportunity to make some more money, click the link and come talk to us and find out. That's what I did. And 30 minutes later, I got some bald guy from Texas calling me saying, hey, man, come on in. And that's you,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it really was, it's what I'm looking for, kind of it was a life changing type of thing, like not knowing that this was even an option before it was just it gets put in front of you and you have to
Hmm.
like, oh man, like this is a real thing you can do. Like I remember doing our interview, which I know we don't like calling them interviews, but we were talking to each other
Hmm.
the first
Yeah.
time. I hadn't even told Sam yet. I hadn't even told her till after the fact when I wanted to see if it was something that I could wrap my head around doing, and kind of similar is like, but we got kids, I got a wife. Where's the priority? And that I
Hmm.
think that's a big headache that a lot of people getting in probably go through. As you said too, it's that in the back of your head, we all grow up the same way, or most of us grow up in that W-2, get your lunch backs and go to work,
Hmm.
and it's weird trying to wrap your head and getting around that. And that's
Yeah.
something we've talked about that a lot, since we've met each other.
Yeah.
And thank God for, I'm sure your wife was the same way, but Sam the whole time's been like, no, do it.
Hmm.
Okay, like try it. Who cares? Because if you don't try it now, it's never going to happen again. This is
Hmm.
your one chance. Take it. And I'm sure you and your wife probably had similar conversations when you were first getting started.
Yeah, definitely. I feel in each of our lifetimes we're given opportunities
Yep.
in certain instances, and there's you can count them on one hand. I feel, and I honestly felt that this was one of those opportunities that if I said no, or if I had that self-talk, that negative talk in my
Hmm.
my head that for the longest time I had, where this is for somebody else, this
Yeah.
isn't for you, Derek. You had these bounce checks, you had this negative balance in your checking
Hmm.
account a couple years ago. You don't qualify for this. You can't help others uh get to a better financial situation, much less your own family. So that negative self-talk and just being conditioned like that for so long, it really it, it can affect you. It can turn down a perfectly good opportunity. We post on social media constantly that if you're looking for opportunity to get out of a W-2, or if you're looking for unlimited income potential,
Hmm.
that you got to change some things. And I think that number one thing you need to change is your mindset. Mindset is everything. And just if you can talk yourself out of any opportunity that comes your way, and
And then regret
it's
it for years to come.
exactly. So I really feel that someone, and I'm sure you can agree too, that you have to take action. You have to,
Hmm.
if you want things to change, you have to make a choice. You have to make a
100%.
decision, and Bradley's big on this. You have to make a choice.
Every
Whether
Monday,
Yeah,
choices.
exactly. Are you going to show up and do what you need to do to not only professional wise, but just bettering yourself.
Yep.
I feel that like me personally, like physical fitness, if I'm not taking care of myself physically, I'm not going to show up on a Zoom call, and I'm not going to be
Hmm.
presented. I'm not going to be able to present well and help a family, help an
Yeah.
individual with their life insurance, or whether they're retirement planning or what have you. I got to be working on myself constantly, and same with bringing you on,
Hmm.
Jacob, and anyone that's interested out there, that wants to you know, join a opportunity like this. You have to kind of look more internal, and are you coachable? Are you a self-starter? You may not have the mindset that you are ready to be a business owner, or you're ready to get into financial services, or start something new. Um, I would say that you making the choice to get a little uncomfortable, we can get you in the mindset, and Real Financial can get you in the mindset
Hmm.
of winning. Like, yes, you can be confident, you
Yep.
can be you can be a self-starter, you can make these changes, but it all starts with that self-talk, that mental. Is it more abundance, opportunity, being optimistic about the future? um Super important.
Yeah,
Super.
absolutely. And on that, like with the, figuring out, get your mind right, to do something like this, you have to get uncomfortable, get coached of how to be uncomfortable that now becomes comfortable. That's a big thing. And I'm sure
Yeah.
you would remember this. A lot of our early Zoom calls, man, shaky, tentative, afraid to ask certain questions in front of everybody, in our weekly group Zoom calls that we do with everybody, with all of our
Right.
partners. I'd wait till afterwards and call you.
Hmm.
And just over time, it's, hey, man, it's okay. Just, hey, you got to do it, or you're
Yeah.
never going to do it. You got to start speaking up. Don't be afraid to get called on because you don't know the answer. Just go, I'm not sure. I'm still learning. Please teach me,
Yeah.
that kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
And now we're sitting here on a podcast that I'm starting, which if you had asked me a couple months ago, I'd have been like, yeah, no chance I'm doing that. No
Hmm.
chance I'm doing it. There's no chance
Yeah.
I'm going to post on social media to the point where people are getting
Yes.
annoyed. Like,
Yeah.
it's these little things that you just, you know, you and Evan and Brad Bloomquist and Larry, like, and all the guys above, like, that are with us. It's very easy to make one call and go, hey, how do I do this? Like, I want to do it, I just don't know how to do it. No problem. Let's show you. And then it
Hmm.
becomes comfortable after, as you keep doing it. It's repetition for everything that we do, but
Yeah.
especially with the mindset part of it.
Yeah.
Being afraid to talk, I mean, kind of hard to do this job if you're afraid to talk to people.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
and
mean? Like,
definitely. Me being an introvert growing up,
yep.
me being hesitant as far as any kind of social situations
Hmm.
or being uncomfortable and not really wanting to speak up. That's definitely something that I struggle with for the longest time and at times still struggle with. That's something that goes alongside with that continual self-improvement, and this job, this industry, it's not just about financial services. I mean, with the way that Real Financial and Brad Lee focus on you as the agent, you as a business partner, they're going to pour into you so much, not just about products and services, but just bettering yourself, communication wise. If you're an introvert, um, you
Let's break
can do
down that barrier.
you can succeed at this, and
Absolutely.
you are continually trying to self-improve and continually trying to get better. And like I say, if you work on yourself, if you take that step and get uncomfortable, and you have that in the back of your mind, which you may have had for this podcast, is I want to try something, I want to reach as many people as possible. And
Bingo.
it's not so much focused on you, it's more so, you know if I'm going to reach as many people as possible, as many families as possible, we got to break through this barrier of
Have
so-called,
to.
I can't speak
Yep.
on this screen. I can't articulate. I can't help a family, with their finances.
Yeah.
It's not about you,
100%.
but it gives you that confidence of knowing that, okay, I can do this. Yeah, the first couple of times it's not going to be good,
It's
but
awkward.
it's part of the process. It's part of the process. And honestly, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when this podcast is reaching so many thousands of people, I think it's going to be interesting to look back on these first couple
Oh,
episodes and say,
absolutely.
man, wow, this is something that, yeah, I took that first step. I took that
And
first step.
that's,
Yeah, pretty cool.
continuously, like we always talk about. It's just like, the posting, just something as simple as posting on Facebook. Awkward. I don't know why.
Right.
Thought it was awkward. Now it's like,
Mhm.
who cares?
Yeah.
I don't do it as much as I probably should, and I need to be better about that. But it's like doing it now is not as nerve wracking as it was when I first started.
Hmm.
But again, it's do it a couple times, and then you're like, no, okay, who cares?
Hmm.
The first one I put out, I was like, man, I hope somebody reacts to it. Just thinking stuff, but I'm like, yeah, who cares? Because everybody's going to
Yeah.
see it, whether they like it or love it or comment or what, they're going to see it.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more times, like you said, uh, they're talking to a friend, their neighbor, and he's like,
Mhm.
man, yeah, we're looking for, a retirement annuity or something like that. And he's like, oh, actually, I know a guy,
Yeah.
and it's just little things like that. You have to go, it'll pay off eventually. It
Yeah.
might not that moment or that day after, but eventually it pays itself back off.
Yeah. Yeah. When first starting, like doing these videos and things like that, it was more so the views, like how many views did I
Yep.
did I get, and that kind of puffed up
Hmm.
my just me thinking that I had made it. And that's,
Yeah.
I look back on it, okay, first off, it was focused on me. It wasn't
Hmm.
focused on the people I'm trying to reach and
Exactly.
getting the message out. So that was a big mind shift for me, was just it's not about me. It's not about looking perfect. It's not about being articulate and getting all my words right and those kind of
Yep.
things. It's about reaching as many people as possible to
And
get
being
the word out,
authentic when you're doing it too.
to be authentic. Amen. Definitely.
That's
Definitely. Yep.
and that's the hardest part. Like me and you've talked about, like with your Facebook lives. Me and Sam joke, oh, Derek didn't go live today. He must be
Hmm.
sick or he's busy. It's become
Hmm.
a joke,
Yeah.
but it's real. Like, because when you do them, like, yes, you're telling the product, but it comes off authentic. Like, you actually believe what you're saying. It's not just you sitting there with a piece of paper
Right.
and reading the hit point, reading the bullet points. It's you're in your car sometimes.
Right.
It's authentically just, hey man, this is what I can do. This is what I can help you with. It's
Yeah.
that simple, and it comes off the right way. And that comes, as you just said, that comes with repetition over time. getting
Yeah.
past, the first couple. Like I'm sure you probably look back on your first couple video like lives and you're like, "Ooh, oh boy, that was rough." Yeah, cover your eyes. That was rough.
Yeah, yeah. Can we delete this? Can we get this off
Exactly.
social media? That'd be awesome. No, brother, I totally agree. There'll be times where, if, this video, people may, just scroll past it, just not think
Yep.
anything of it, see it, same old Derek, every Monday, 9:30
Hmm.
Central. But there may be that one family, there may be that one individual that really takes time and really listens to it. And that may be the reason that I do that video, is just to
Hmm.
reach that one
Just the one
person.
person.
And that's why I do it. And that's why I continue to do it. It's not about the views. It's not about, you know,
Hmm.
uh, it's about reaching that one family. It's about reaching that
Hmm.
one individual, no matter where they are, whether we're talking about products and services that can help them, or maybe it's the opportunity that they're looking for. Maybe
Hmm.
they're in the same mindset that we are, that they're punching in, they're clocking in, clocking out. They're looking at a lunch break. They get 30 minutes for lunch. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be
No.
like that. And so they may be looking, kind of just that little twinkle that we had, or that little, flame, uh, you know, getting the opportunity, getting the opportunity out there to as many people as possible. And that's why me personally, just the focal point of a lot of my social media posts has been getting the opportunity out there to as many as possible.
Yeah,
And it may not be
absolutely.
today, it may not be tomorrow, but it may be a year from now, or maybe 2 years from now, where they click on the
Hmm.
link and they say, you know what, let me get the information, let me get the details on it, and go from there. And
Absolutely.
that's what I'm
That's what
looking.
we're all trying to do.
Yeah,
Like you
definitely.
said, we do discovery calls, and that's either because you're looking for a service or you're thinking, "Hey, man, I want the opportunity."
Right.
It's all
Right.
just getting information. There's nothing else to it. It's just sit down, let's have a conversation for 30 minutes, just like me and you are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
it. I want to transition a little bit. Having you being a team director, you know, getting up there, and what do you see, and I'm sure you've seen a ton, what like the biggest mistake that somebody coming in first time, kind of like myself, never done anything with it, somebody like you, never done it before, not sure. What's that one biggest mistake that you think every starting agent makes that eventually leads to them leaving? Like, is there one that specifically sticks out that seems to be the most common, or is it like, and I mean, in terms of like, like they're afraid to call their friends and their family
Mhm.
to do the like stuff like the actual work itself. Do you see it like a big mental block a lot?
I would say just the expectation that success is going to be immediate, that
Hmm.
it's going to be instantaneous. Like, we have what's called field training calls, where someone brand new to the industry, or brand new to Real Financial, goes through a number of calls with their warm market, friends, family, coworkers, and basically we share the opportunity. A lot of people think that, they're gonna make, out of those, say, 10 field training calls, they're gonna make, 5 sales on that.
Hmm.
And it takes time. It takes time. Success is not going to be instantaneous. Your wins are going to come on the work that you put in, that is in many cases not seen, or you're not going to get applause for it. It's going to be, creating those ads, or doing those videos,
Hmm.
constantly showing up each and every week, doing those phone calls, getting hung up on, those no's, which I always say not yet.
Yeah.
They you're gonna get more, adversity. You're gonna have more, tests. I call them, where it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time to see that success, and you just get conditioned. You learn how consistency really leads to success in this industry.
Hmm.
How staying connected is super important, and that the wins will come. The wins will come. You stay committed. You stay consistent with showing up, putting in the effort, and just that mindset of of the opportunities that each and every phone call bring, that each and every video that you post bring. Um, Success is not immediate. Success,
Hmm.
if you're looking for a get rich quick, or
This ain't
something
it.
like that, this is not it. People coming into the financial services industry, um, and coming in specifically to Real Financial, we're going to pour so much into you coming in, but you have to be committed. You have to know that this is going to take time to start getting you at a point where you are confident that you can do it, that you can make this. Say you're in a part-time position, um, that you can make it a full-time career, and that you can actually build something massive. A lot of people give up within that first year. They don't see the success. They don't see the income that was promised to them, um, and they just quit. They just give up. They don't. They want to go back to that comfort of that W-2 and that 401k, and that company match that
Hmm.
is going to somehow uh, be different than the previous, and
Hmm.
that itch, that goal, that dream that you have, I mean, it's not going away, and it's going to be there. And I just feel a lot of people that come in brand new to the industry really give up way too soon before that success is just right around the corner. They just don't see the income, or they don't see the yeses that they thought they would,
Hmm.
initially.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. And then let's piggyback on that just a little bit, because you kind of touched on it a little bit there. If for somebody that is younger, I mean, really the age don't matter, but somebody coming in that's looking to get into this industry,
Mhm.
and I want to, on your opinion, what you think, like, why would you tell them, hey man, come to us, come to Real Financial, don't go to State Farm, don't go to Nationwide, like, come work with us. Like, why? What would you tell somebody if they say, hey man, well, why am I going to come to Real Financial instead of X, Y, or Z company over here?
I would say I would go back to, just coming in brand new, and just my experience of, no experience when it came to sales, no
Hmm.
experience when it came to, putting myself out there, or the Zoom, or how to, certain software and all these kind of
Hmm.
things. Like I said, just growing up, and just the academic side was not my forte, was not my strength or anything like that. I feel that Real Financial gives you the opportunity to more so work on yourself while learning the industry. And I think that's something that is super key, is the fact that, yeah, we're going to get you the best products. We're going to get you the best um, systems, the best tools when it comes to the guest experience, I call it. So if we can get someone into this environment, and yeah, it's remote, yeah, you're working,
Hmm.
you may be out in the middle of Nebraska, or you may be in the middle of New York City, but Real Financial brings the opportunity wherever you are. So if you're a college student, if you're wherever you are, the opportunity can meet you wherever, and give you the tools, the systems, not only as far as the financial services side, but also just the life side. Just
Hmm.
just learning how to, like I said, communicate, learning how to run a business, learning how to work numbers, to present, to be professional, to be confident, eye contact, handshake, all those things that you may not have grown up around, especially with being around cell phones, and being
Hmm.
around the likes and the clicks, and not so much the interaction part of it, which I will tell you, even on a Zoom call, you got to have that ability to communicate. You have to have that ability to ask questions.
And not be
It's
afraid
super
to ask questions.
it's super
That's
important.
super key.
And I feel like it's going to be more, kind of getting away from that, as far as, like AI, and the introduction of that. But Real Financial really pours into the person, really pours into giving you the most opportunity, giving you the most in the training, the mindset, the the priorities that you put in your life when it comes to to winning. And
Hmm.
it's super important that someone, say, that's 21, 22, 23 years old, that's kind of in that point where they're trying to make a decision as far as where they want to go, or someone in my case who was in their 40s, looking for a change. We can meet you. Real Financial can meet you wherever you are at. And like I said, you don't have to be at this certain point way up here. You can be up here, but looking up and looking for that opportunity. So I feel that Real Financial is the best place, just not only professional development, entrepreneurship, but also to personal development as well.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Derek, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, Derek Jones, Real Financial TX. I gotta get rid of that TX because we are well beyond the state of Texas. But no, just please, social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm trying to put as much content, trying to reach as many individuals as possible when it comes to the opportunity, and also to how we can help you and your family financially. And yeah, it's been great. It's been wonderful, and just super honored, like I said, to be a team director here at Real Financial, and just to be amongst the leadership that we currently have, and amongst the up and coming leadership, like you, Jacob, and like so many others. It's super exciting to be a part of Real Financial.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you again coming on and doing this first episode with me. Like I
Definitely.
said, guys, if everybody go check out Derek's social media, he goes live on Facebook every day. He's always posting good stuff. If you want to learn some more, find either one of us on either of our social medias. Give us a call, email, whatever you guys want to do. So with that, Derek, again, thank you, and we will see you guys next time.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.